Welcome to the Easton.Online podcast. I'm your host, Eliot Marshall. And what this podcast is here to do, it's here to help you gain strategies and tactics and tools that are going to help you grow in your martial arts business. If you have a martial arts school, a gym, this is one of my passions, is how we spread the message of how to really grow culture and business and some ways that we do it the best with our people, with our staff, with our clients. So I hope you enjoy. Give a listen. Hi, Sach. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
How's the coffee?
It's great. Thank you.
Good. Everyone has to, I don't know why I still ask that question, but I do.
It's nice to start with some coffee.
Yeah. You're a first, Sach. You're my first Easton.Online podcast without Jordan.
I know.
He had to go away, but we have to do one. We get to do one.
Well, we'll miss him. Jordan, if you're listening, see you soon.
While he's not here, I don't know if you've listened too much, but I call him Jamie.
I've heard that, yeah.
Because I'm trying to be Joe Rogan, So can you sit up on the mic where we can push that a little forward?
Oh, yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. You are also a first. You are the first female in our company that transcended like the front desk to like a full-time like managerial type job. I think, right? I think Van was the first full-time female employee, right? But Denver was a little slower on the moving to different managerial positions. So, but you're the first. You were the first one, and now I think we have a couple. We have you, we have Sarah, we have Van. Who else do we have? Shalane, yes, Shalane. So that's really cool for us. That's really cool for me. So,
cool for me too.
Good.
It's great. It's been cool to like grow up through this company and with this company. So
yeah, how did you, I know you were just talking to Irv and Esther downstairs. My parents are in town.
Yeah, it was nice to chat with them.
I love my parents, they parents is always a weird thing, right? Because as you move out of their house and then you have kids in a family and you don't do it necessarily like you guys did it. And it's different. So this dynamic can always be very weird, but we have come and found a good mutual agreement, like a good relationship.
Yeah.
So I like having my parents in town. The kids, we surprised the kids.
That's so cute.
Like they didn't know my parents were coming and they were at football practice yesterday. And then they come in the door and Kanan was just like, oh my God, he's going crazy. And Simon hates surprises. He was like, hi.
I'm a little bit of a Simon. Like I like to plan things. I like to know what's happening. I like for things to go according to my plan.
Renee was like this.
But I feel like grandparents visiting, it's pretty much guaranteed going to be a good surprise.
Yeah, it's a good surprise. One time, Simon, when I was in New York City for a fight for Corey, and they had a long weekend, and Renee and the neighbor next door, they were like, oh, let's surprise the kids. Let's go to New York.
Oh, I kind of remember this, yeah.
Right? And when Renee went and picked Simon up from school, they took him out of school early to go, and like they were going with the neighbor kids, like everyone was all excited, and Simon started crying. Like he's like, what? I can't handle this, right? Like it was just too much for him.
Yeah, it's like your routine is broken. Like what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get back to you. How did you get here? How'd you get to Boulder?
I was just telling your parents, I just kind of thought I would like it. I mean, I came and looked at CU when I was 17 with my mom.
From where are you coming from? Hawaii,
I'm
right?
from the Big Island of Hawaii, yeah.
We share this love.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So yeah, I don't know. I came and looked at some schools in Colorado and just decided that I wanted to go farther away. So I went to school in Virginia.
Farther away?
Yeah, a lot of kids from my high school ended up going to school in like California, Colorado, Washington, Oregon. And I don't know, I wanted to do something like that was going to be culturally more difficult, I guess. And it was, it was pretty culturally difficult to go to Virginia. But yeah, after doing that for several years,
Did you graduate? Mm-hmm. Yeah, what'd you graduate with?
Psychology, bachelor's in psychology.
You're using it very well.
It's I feel like now some of my stuff has like come more into play.
Right.
But yeah, for a long time I felt like I wasn't. But
I don't see it that way. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you. I guess I did a little bit, but I guess I did a lot actually. But so for me, I don't use my math degree at all. Like I do nothing with my math degree.
But you're like, running a business. I feel like that's mathy.
Yeah, sure. But it set up all this opportunity for me, right? Like the college experience.
Totally.
So I guess I was trying to say that, like a little bit in my facetiousness. Like, yeah, okay, so what? You don't use your because I think we get so hung up on this idea that we have to use the degree that we have. But you're succeeding and doing amazing.
Yeah, it's more about like what you learn. You learn to learn. You learn to manage your time more than you learn facts.
Yeah.
Facts are cool.
Facts are cool, but facts can only take you like so far. So Virginia and then Boulder. What made you? Did you choose Boulder because you had visited Boulder before? Or, okay.
Yeah, I thought I would like it. I was a nanny in Castle Rock one summer between like my third and fourth year of school.
Okay.
Just to kind of check out the Colorado scene and make sure that I liked it.
Okay.
I decided that I visited Boulder like one time during that summer, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that.
And did you come with somebody or just by yourself?
Just by myself.
Cool.
I knew like a couple of people from home who lived here.
Okay.
Like people that I went to school with.
And then you needed a job.
Yeah. I was unemployed, spending a lot of time on my couch.
Right.
No friends.
Right.
And then actually, so one of my friends who I grew up with was already training at Easton.
Okay.
And he was telling me how much he loved it, and like he was like, yeah, we're moving into this new space. And
so he was training at the old school Easton. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was on Craigslist one day looking for jobs, and then he like had told me about the new thing, and I was like, hey, I sent him a picture. I was like, is this the thing you're talking about? He's like, oh yeah, like I'll go introduce you. So went in with him, met Denise and Mike, and
so this is still at the OG Easton or the new Easton?
Yeah, the old academy.
Okay.
This was like November, like right after the flood.
So we were in construction, right? We were in construction at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did like a couple of training shifts at the old academy before moving into the new Boulder spot in January.
I don't remember you at all.
It was, a couple of evening shifts with Denise.
So evening. That's why I don't remember you, because I didn't come in. I don't ever go to Boulder in the evenings. I guess I do now with my kids, but then no, I was strictly all Denver.
Yeah, they were little then, so.
Yeah, Kanan was 2014. Yeah, he was like 4 or 5, and Simon was like 1 or 2. Yeah. So then the first time I remember you was when we had the meeting in the office the
Tohono one?
That Tohono one, yeah.
I was just thinking about that this morning and like driving over here, and I was like nervous, and you're like, hi, I'm Eliot. And I like had brought my passport because, I was like to like confirm my identity or whatever. So you like reach out your hand and I like hand you my passport, and you look at me like, what are you doing?
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, that was one of the Jake Bell sessions. It was like with all the new front desk, learning sales stuff for the first time.
Yeah, I mean that's the first. I don't remember the passport story, so
it was brief. I was like embarrassed, but it was whatever.
Yeah, we're a different business, I guess. We're so yeah, I don't know. You probably have to show your ID at most places when you go. So
yeah.
So what was that like for you? What was the experience? I mean, so it was so new kind of for everyone at that point, because we're moving into this new space. Like when Easton opened, when the Boulder location, the big school in Boulder opened, what was that like for you? Because I mean, super male dominated, super focused on jiu-jitsu. I wouldn't say we had a bad culture.
No,
not right. Like
really tight knit.
Really tight knit culture. Very male. And very jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and definitely both of those things have changed a lot in the time that I've been
around.
And
you're neither male, and you don't do jiu-jitsu.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it was like at that time, I feel like I was kind of one of the first new staff members to come on, to come into this like small community of people that everyone knew each other.
Right.
And so everyone was just like, oh, who's this new person? Like,
we rarely, I mean, even for front desk, we just found a student. Because you didn't need like front desk.
Yeah. In the smaller school, it was like, it was really just checking people in.
Hold on, I want to take that back. We didn't realize that you need dedicated front desk. Because I believe you do.
Totally.
I believe you do need dedicated front desk, and I think it's way better. But we didn't realize that. until we had this bigger thing. And so for sure, we were just like grabbing a student. Hey, this is how you answer the phone and da da da.
And I think that's like a super common business model, you know, like that's what yoga studios do. That's what most small schools do.
Right.
But yeah, I think like this plays into the little bit about like me not doing jujitsu. It's like I had worked at the front desk at my mom's office. She's a dentist.
Okay.
Like right before I moved to Colorado.
Okay.
For like 6 months. And so I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of used to that and like in that like mindset of like, okay, be organized. Let's make appointments. Let's like make some notes about them. So like the front desk felt pretty natural to me.
Okay.
Those things anyway.
Right.
I was definitely more. It's funny, like Ian talked about being introverted in his, right? And like I'm definitely introverted. And in college, I feel like that went up a bit, you know?
You were introversion.
Yeah, like I think I got more like social anxiety when I was in college. Like maybe like 9 years ago. It was hard for me for a little bit.
Okay. So how nervous is this for you right now? I mean, how hard for you is this?
I don't know. I mean, I was like, so, okay. The social anxiety is mostly with like a bunch of people or with people that I don't know.
Okay.
Like you know, we're here in this room alone. No Jordan.
Right.
But it's fine.
So that doesn't, okay.
Yeah. It would be like going to a party.
Right.
And I still don't like to go to a party where I don't know anyone. I only want to go to a party at my own house.
I don't think I like parties that much. I guess I do. They're okay. But they're so loud.
Yeah, the loud is the thing that is hard. Like, when I was a little kid, my mom tells this story about we were having this party at the house, and I was like, "Come on, Mom! Like, let's go in my room and read."
Right.
So I think I'm still that a bit, but like I can get down with a party if it's like all my friends.
I can get down with the party when it's all my friends for sure. But for me, like the way I like to interact, I don't dance well or any of that stuff. Like, so I have to be able to talk. So that's how I make my thing happen.
Yeah.
So like if I can't talk, then I'm kind of fucked.
Certain kind of party.
Yeah, like a certain kind of party, like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Oh God, my friends when I was younger wanted to go to nightclubs, and you know I was like, well, guys, I can't pick up chicks this way, right? Because I can't dance, right? Like. Well, like I hate dancing. So what do you do at a nightclub? Like you're picking up girls or you like to dance, and you like the only way you pick up the girl is by dancing really well. And I couldn't do that, so I was like a wallflower, like because you can't talk to anybody. It's so loud. I'm like, guys, this sucks.
Yeah, it's a hard environment for like someone who is not into the party scene. I like to dance, but
so you like to dance. I couldn't. The first time Renee and I ever went to a dance club, she looked at me. She's like, "Can you go stand over on the wall?"
I'll come back for you later.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So how did you deal with your introversion? Because like the front desk at Easton is for sure not introversion.
No, yeah, I kind of like. So my mom is like, I feel like kind of a classic extrovert. She's like so friendly. Everyone loves her. She's just like very comfortable talking to people.
Right.
So I kind of turn it on to be like her sometimes. Okay. And it used to feel more like I was faking it. But I think through my experience at the front desk, especially like in those early years, it was like getting more comfortable in that. And like, yeah, it eventually just came more naturally.
Okay.
To just talk to all these people. And I think it helped that the school was still smaller then too. So it's like pretty quickly I knew like hundreds of people. And I'd see them out on Pearl Street. I'd be like, oh, look, my friends, I belong here.
Right.
Which felt really good for me.
Sure.
It was like, it was a community right away for me, which was nice.
Man, it's the same for me. Like very quickly after getting the job at after training jiu-jitsu, maybe like a year or so, I was in the Boulder scene, but I wasn't, I don't know how to put it. I'd been here for a while, let's say. But very quickly after getting the job, after training jiu-jitsu, I started working at the Foundry, which is now, which was the Absinthe House, right?
And now something else.
I don't know, yeah. But at the time, that was the place, right? So all of a sudden, like, boom, here I am. And I'm the dude that fights, and I didn't even fight yet, right? You know, but I was the dude that fights, so that worked for me. And I mean, I took that for that. I won't say it was a good identity for me, but I took that for a really long time and a long way. Because I got to be that guy. You know, I was the baddest dude at the biggest bar in town. So,
and this was before and during when you were first training, right?
I sucked. I was a blue belt. Right. But blue belt to us back, so you got it for us, blue belt at the time was God almost. Like it was next to God because Amal, no, okay, hold on. No. Okay, so a black belt was God. Amal was Jesus and he was a purple belt, right? And I was like a disciple. You know, I was like one of the 12 because nobody was a blue belt. Right? This was like, and now a blue belt for us is
We have a lot of blue belts.
Yeah, we have 1,000 throughout the whole company, maybe. Something like that. That's 700 maybe. I don't know. We have a lot of blue belts.
Yeah, it's crazy to see like how many get promoted. I'm gonna have, I'm sure, a ton at our promotion in a couple weeks.
So I mean, we have a lot of blue belts. They're not the badasses of the school, but for us, we were back then. You know, so that was an interesting. So yeah, I had a very similar thing. Like everyone would come to see. I'd like everyone come in the bar, and I'd say hello, just like you know.
It's interesting. It feels good.
It feels good. It's so that's very interesting how like two opposite experiences like that, like mine in this one way and yours in this one way, are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
It's nice to belong to something like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, Easton was the first time that I've felt that in a while, like since I was home.
And what did that do for you? Is that part of what made you stay, you think?
Oh yeah. It's like I love the friends that I've made through Easton, and it's like it's really cool to work with people who I'm excited to see every day, you know?
Right.
Like that's special. I don't think a lot of people have that.
I agree. I only work with my friends. I love it. You know?
Yeah, can't beat it.
I can't be. Yeah, I get to go. I don't have to go to work. I get to go hang out with my homies. Is how I call it. So
yeah,
it's really fun. And I would say maybe one of the main reasons you stayed was Mike.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
what did Mike do for you?
Mike has always been like an advocate and a mentor for me. Like even from kind of early on in the front desk, we like just, I don't know, got along really well. And so Mike has always been like pushing me to learn and grow this entire time, you know, like 6 years, almost 6 years in.
Have you been working here 6 years? God, that was 6 years ago.
Yeah, right?
January, huh? Damn, all right.
Yeah, so having someone like Mike who like really cares and was invested in me sticking around, like, I don't know, it feels good to be valued, and it was nice to be in a work environment where I had that, you know?
So let's talk about that for a sec, because Mike's more like me, right? We're hotheads. You're not a hothead.
No, I'm pretty even keeled.
You're pretty even keeled. Excuse me. Mike and I say shit, right? And you definitely are more aware of the words coming out of your mouth.
I like words. I think words are important.
Words are important, right? Where Mike and I, well, that motherfucker, right? And like we'll say terrible shit sometimes when we're mad, and we don't necessarily mean it. Or what was that like for you? Because I don't want to say you're sensitive, right? You're not sensitive, but you're paying attention way more than Mike and I are, I would say.
I don't know. I think you guys pay attention.
Go ahead. Sorry, you explain it.
Honestly, I think that like the informal culture that we had and still have, but it's a little different now. But like,
yeah, I've gotten in trouble. Mike and I've gotten in trouble.
But at the same time, like being in a workplace where people are dropping F-bombs, I'm like, I belong here.
Right. Okay.
You know, it's like, certainly like you guys have gotten some maybe scoldings from me about things that like, you know, I'm like the PC principal of Easton. But
which I think is amazing to have. Like sometimes you make me so mad with that. I'm like, God damn it, Sachi. Or like, you know, but we need like you can't just have a bunch of me and Mike's.
I think like yeah, with what we're trying to do,
Right.
with like trying to open up something that is inherently kind of scary and intimidating and maybe not always like historically, like in and throughout other jiu-jitsu schools in the world, Muay Thai schools, it's like you might not get the kind of community that we have, or you certainly wouldn't if
I think
you're
you get
like
a different
scaring people
community,
away.
but not the one that we have.
Yeah, like I think Easton is very beginner friendly.
Right.
Not that I've trained anywhere else, but that's the impression that I get.
The podcast didn't go away. Hold on. I'm trying to think about that's a very Yes, we're very beginner friendly. I don't think that doesn't mean that we're not advanced friendly either.
No, but it's a place where you can go from being a beginner to being advanced. Like I was pretty unathletic as a kid.
Right.
And like Muay Thai was the first thing that I like got into really. Like I don't know, I played softball.
Sure.
But I don't know, and now I've been doing it for a while and I don't know, I guess I'm advanced. I'm not certainly not the best person by any means or even close, but like it's a thing that I started from nothing. Like I'd never done martial arts before, and now it's like
You had a
it's my
smoker
thing.
match, right?
Yeah, in
Like,
December.
In December, and you never probably would have thought you would have done that.
Definitely not. Nope.
That's what I excuse me. That's what I would say that we do well. Like as far as on the martial arts side, is we help someone find some potential that they didn't really quite realize that they had. You know,
Yeah.
and even when you took this job, I would probably say you were like, okay, I'll go work the front desk and answer some phone calls.
Yeah,
know?
I was like, I figured I would be around for like a year.
Yeah, lucky us. So,
Thanks.
so back to what that was like for you, like working in Mike and just that whole shift that I mean, you were probably the catalyst of it, like help pushing it that way. I would say. I don't know if you knew it, right? Like, I think we were going that way, like inevitably with this bigger model, and you were one of the first females and one of the first people that didn't take part in the martial art whatsoever at first. And we had some growing pains and some shifts to make and all of these things. So back to that, what was that experience like? More about that experience. What was going on there for you?
It was a lot of learning. I was like, I don't know, like, so that meeting that we talked about where we first met,
Okay.
with Jake Bell and learning about sales, like that was difficult for me. It was like, you know, that it felt uncomfortable
Right.
at first. Like I'm not like, I'd never done anything like that before.
It was a front desk job, like your mom's dentist. You were like taking a credit card, maybe.
Yeah, I was like handling insurance claims,
Right.
confirming appointments, which
Right.
is the same as what we do.
Sure.
But, yeah, I wasn't like selling people their fillings.
Yeah, it's a like most front desk jobs, when you go to the front desk, like you're going to pay. Like when you check out at the doctor's office, you're not like, oh shit, let's see if I can get a better deal on this on my filling, right? Or am I paying for my filling? Like that was a great experience, and am I going to pay?
Yeah, it's not really a question in
Right.
most places.
You're paying.
So
that must have been a different, like, yeah, that was a different. Were you ready for that? Did you know that's what you were getting into?
yeah, you know, it was in like the job description.
Okay.
We talked about it like when I interviewed and stuff.
Okay.
And they were like, you know, we'll teach you. So I was like, okay, cool.
So you were game for it?
Yeah, it was hard, and honestly, like I ended up not being amazing at sales. I think that actually the way that we're teaching people now is a lot more holistic and maybe like more effective at giving people the big picture.
I think we were on contract still when you first started.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was like 6 months with like buyout.
Yeah.
And
I'm wholeheartedly against contracts now.
yeah. And it's a big part of our
Culture.
system and culture now. Like it changed a lot.
I think that was a big change for us, because the whole martial arts world at the time, and I just had this discussion on somebody else's podcast who disagreed with me. The whole thing with martial arts is like you need to get the student to commit to you. Like when you go to college, you're committing, right? And fuck that. Right? Fuck, in my, like, what changed me was Joe Rogan's podcast, and not anything that was on the podcast other than the commercial in the beginning. Ting. There was a cell phone company called Ting.
Indy uses that.
Yeah, does he? Mm-hmm. And they were the first people to do no contract. And the argument was, you hate your cell phone company. Well, we all do. Like, we use them and we hate them. It's like, you're stuck and this and that and blah, 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 right? Like, all this $500 to get out, and you're like, dude, what if you suck? Right? Like, what if you're awful? Yeah. But that's what we were doing. And I would, like, listen to Joe Rogan on my way home every night and hear this thing. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm an asshole.
So it changed. Yeah.
It changed.
Like,
yeah.
and I think that it's definitely more like friendly to someone just starting out. I think,
Right.
we do the trial month. It's like, check it out. We think you'll like it.
Right. It's on us. Right. It's on us to show you. Like, there's no sale anymore, really.
Yeah. It's like most people are like, yeah, I'll try it.
I'll try it. Right.
It's like they came in because they wanted to try it. So.
Right. So you'll try anything for, I don't know, what is it, $99 or something? I don't, right? Like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Oh, and I get my money back too? Like, if I hate it? Like, so there's a zero risk here?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? Right. Why wouldn't you? And then it's on us to show them how great we are.
Totally.
It's not the person's commitment first.
And it's nice because it's like I feel like once someone tries it,
right.
we're all confident that we can deliver a great product. It's
right.
like, you're going to have some fun in your classes. You're going to like sweat, smile, learn.
Right.
You're going to make some friends. You're going to be excited to be here. And
right. You're going to be pushed. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be all these things. Right. I think there was something that you said with Mike that he really was pushing you to learn.
Totally.
Right. And I think that's such an important thing about that we need to keep doing as adults. Right. And we just halt it so much. And I think we were talking about it right beforehand that you were going to, Mike was like, hey, can you help Ian and Will with AOD? They started Art of the Dog. Shout out if you need dog training. Go Google Art of the Dog here in Colorado, and they can help you out. So with Facebook ads, and you were like, I kind of suck at Facebook ads. I'm not really that good.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
And you'll get better. Right? But that's kind of the fun. I think that's the fun of our jobs, is every aspect has this learning aspect to it.
Totally. Yeah. Like for me in the job or jobs that I've had in my time with Easton, it's been different like every year. There's always something new. There's always new responsibilities. I've done like really wide variety of things. Like, especially when so we used to call it assistant manager. Now it's the Academy Operations Director in Boulder. But yeah, people would be like, what's your job like? I'm like, well, sometimes I make Facebook ads, and sometimes I like stuff heavy bags, and sometimes I, write the newsletter, and sometimes I plunge toilets, and, all kinds of stuff.
Me too. I had to clean the mats the other day because the pro practice, the guy bled all over it, and it was his foot. And normally when the pros bleed, we make them clean it up. But he couldn't clean it up.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like,
get more blood on the mat.
Yeah. I was like, all right, let's go. So that's a big thing. We can't ever lose sight of that. I think you know how to do all of the jobs.
I've never taught.
Okay.
Which is like, I was, listening to your other episodes of this, and like everyone else came up through like the instructor role.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. You came up, I didn't even think about that. You came up a totally different way.
But other than that, like, yeah, I feel like I've done a lot of the things that one would do in Easton.
I can't make Facebook ads. I've never done that.
It's, I don't know. I'm not very good at it either.
We already talked about that. So you didn't move direct, like you're not front desk anymore, right? Like, so you moved out of that.
Yeah, I did front desk for like maybe a year and a half.
Right.
And then was assistant manager.
I remember when Mike sat down and talked that you were going to be assistant manager and we were going to give you a salary. And I was like, bro, I was like, what? Because we hadn't done this before. Like the only salaried people were managers. And I was like, salary?
Yeah.
Where's that money coming from? Right?
It's a risk.
Yeah.
And also, we talk about this a lot now. It's like, that's not always the right move. Like if you have someone that is doing a job that should be hourly, like giving them a
hourly.
salary. Yeah.
Yeah. We messed
be
this up at one of
dangerous.
the academies, right? Like we moved someone to salary and it went bad. But anyway, so yeah, it happens. I mean, and I think it's a good thing to talk about. Like, we're doing this podcast, we're making these courses. Man, you guys got to understand how much we blow it still.
Yeah.
Right?
It's iterative. We're always learning.
Yeah. Then that's the key, is that we're always going through this process of, messed that one up.
As long as you learn from it,
Right. It's A/B testing, right? With Facebook. Isn't that what you do with you? Like, just talk about that in the Facebook ad sense, and then how we take that to like what it is that we do.
So like in Facebook ads, often you will test like serving your ad to 2 different audiences or using 2 different pictures or 2 different headlines, and you see which one performs better.
So the same ad, you're saying the same ad to
you only want to vary one factor.
Okay.
So everything else about the ad is exactly the same, and then you have 2 different pictures. One is like a little kid and one is an adult, and then you just see which one gets the most clicks, which one produces the most leads, and then you cut the other one.
So you're hoping one of them fails.
Yeah, one of them's got to. You got to figure out which one's better.
And then just keep marching through it. Mm-hmm. And I think the whole academy is like that.
Yeah, totally. It's like we'll be like, okay, well, what's not working? What do we need to try? And hopefully we figure it out and move forward from there.
You have to pay attention. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes people change too many things.
Yeah, that's unscientific.
Right, because you can't figure out what was the delineator, right, of what made the difference. Like, so do I keep this? Do I keep A or do I keep B? Because you don't know, because you like went all the way to G.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? You got to change slowly.
Right.
I mean, usually in like the scientific method, you have a hypothesis.
Right.
And usually it's like pretty good, but yeah, you should keep it gradual. Make sure that you're able to measure your results.
Right. And the same with your academy, and the same with everything that you do, right? Mm-hmm. You want to know why it is that things happen, not just have them happen, because you want to be able to affect the change or create the change next time.
Totally.
So when you were the assistant manager, that was the first thing? Mm-hmm. What? Mike was still here. Mm-hmm. Mike was still the manager.
Yeah. So it was me and Mike sharing an office.
Okay.
We sat like this on our desk. Now that office, there's 4 desks in there.
Right.
It's a different scene for sure. But It was cool to work so closely with Mike. Boulder was growing a lot at the time. So it was suddenly he didn't have time for all the things that used to be his responsibility alone. And then we were also adding things that we didn't used to do, So
like what?
I think the newsletter was that was one of my first. It was when I was still front desk that I started doing the newsletter.
Okay.
And then that was a big part of my responsibilities for several years. I actually just handed that project off.
Oh, who does it now?
Rocks. Purple Ball.
In Littleton in Arvada. Mm-hmm. No shit, huh?
She's a great writer.
Oh, amazing.
She's a PhD, so.
Okay.
Yeah, she's crushing it.
Nice.
And it's a relief for me to not I loved that project. It was my baby for a long time.
Right.
I like to write.
Right.
But eventually I had a lot of other things that were pulling me in different directions, and it was taking me a long time to do. And so it just made sense to have someone else do it.
Man, this is such an important thing sometimes here for as you grow with your school. I had no clue that Sachi wasn't doing the newsletter anymore. I'm the owner, and I wouldn't, I don't know, you can answer honestly if you would like. I don't believe I'm an absent owner. No. I believe I'm in the schools every day, so I'm not there, but I can't handle the news, right?
Yeah, I think that's the point of when you get bigger, people have to specialize.
Right.
So
and now you just have to let Rocks roll with the newsletter.
She needs very little supervision.
Right.
She's doing a great job.
She's doing a great job. Hopefully you hired someone better than you to do the job, right? Whatever that job may be, so that you can now focus on this other thing. And hopefully whatever the other thing that you're focusing on, someday you're going to find somebody better than you to do that too. This is how growth happens. And then you just have to manage and trust.
Yeah. When we say delegate and elevate.
Right. Delegate. Oh, I like it. Delegate and elevate. Look at you. Yeah, we have terms for it.
I didn't come up with that, but
who came up with it?
It's from a book that Mike read. I don't know. Yeah.
I like that. Delegate and elevate. Right?
It's like, yeah, you should always be teaching someone to do the things that you do to help them be better and to, like, I don't know, make yourself outmoded.
Yeah, for sure. You have to fire yourself, right? You have to. Everyone should be trying to fire themselves, and if we're doing that really, really well, then we just keep climbing. We just keep shooting up. So delegate and elevate. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Yeah, I like that. So Rox handles the newsletter. So what did you move into after all of that, after the front? Like, so who's the AOD? I don't even know who's the AOD of Boulder.
Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarah's crushing it, and she does a lot of other stuff too. I think.
And Andrew is the front desk person. What do we call that?
The director of first impressions.
Director of first impressions. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have AOD. We have director of first impressions. What else do we have?
We have GM. We have first impression specialists. We have
that's the front desk.
All of our instructors,
right?
Various levels of instructors,
right? But how about on the managerial side? That's it, though.
Yeah, that's it. Since Boulder is a bigger school, there's both the AOD and DFI. But smaller schools usually will just be the DFI.
Okay, the DFI will be the AOD, kind of.
Yeah, it's like the GM and the DFI kind of both take the responsibilities that would be a whole job at a big school.
Right. So what does Denver have? Do you know?
Denver has both.
Both. Okay.
So Carlos is DFI and Van is AOD.
And Van's AOD. Okay. Sounds good. So again, I don't know any, like, I mean, I know we have these positions. I don't know who's in those positions. You have to trust a little bit as you have to trust that you hired well in who you put in certain places, that they're going to do the job really well. So I know that Mike hires well. I know that we did a good job hiring Mike. That is the first thing. So now Mike has to do a good job of hiring, and sometimes you have to do a good job of firing, right? Like there's that old adage, hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah. That's an important one.
Yeah.
If you start feeling like you need to end it, you should. You should. Yeah. Luckily for us, we hire well because I think we go real slow. And like you didn't move up very fast, I would say. Yeah. It took, I mean, I think faster than at a bigger company,
right.
Like where we were at, where I came in, it was like there was room for me to grow.
A little luck in the game of where Easton was moving, right? Like
yeah.
we needed it. We needed to move.
The timing was good.
Yeah. So after your experience of AOD, what do you do now?
So now I am the director of marketing and administration, which sounds fancy, but I'm still learning.
Right. Do you have a marketing degree?
Nope.
No. Do you have an administration degree?
Nope.
Oh, shit.
Is that a thing?
I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that.
So you have none of that. But you're doing it.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting, like, as I was like thinking about this conversation and like where I've gone through my like Easton path, I realized that I've been doing marketing things kind of since early, like I started doing the newsletter like within the first year.
Right.
I like took over the like marketing booth thing in Boulder.
For like when we go out. Okay.
Yeah. So like when we go on campus at CU and Creek Fest, I like reorganized the system of how we do that. And
it used to be mine. I think I was the first one. I was so bad at it.
Well, this was back in the like try your luck for a buck days, right?
Hey, you want to fight? Like, I was just talking to somebody yesterday on my podcast on the Gospel Fire, and we were talking about like what intro classes were a fight. Like we used to like show them how to do a couple things. Then like, ready? And they're like, ready for what? We're gonna fight. Ready? So
what'd you learn?
No, that like that was the way jiu-jitsu did it. Like that was the culture of jiu-jitsu. You showed people, you fuck them up. And don't you want to learn this now?
If it were me, no.
No.
I'd be like, bye.
Yeah.
Sure don't.
So
I'm not ready for that.
Right. So we moved from that, But anyway, so that's what you're doing. You so the marketing. You started early in marketing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I guess I hadn't really thought about that, but that's been like part of what I've been doing for a long time.
Right.
And now it's my bigger focus, and I'm doing it not just for Boulder, but for all the academies. which is cool.
You're part of the corporate team, right?
Yes,
So
we call
it's
it the support team.
The support
We're
team.
there to support.
So who's it? You, Mike, Logan. Mm-hmm. That's it right now, right?
Yeah, Sarah does some support team stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just like the things that are there to help all the academies and like take the stuff off their plate that's like getting in the way of their own specialties, basically.
Right. So you handle like all of the academy's advertising and marketing, right? And things like that. So I know we're really working hard on like SOPs right now.
Yeah.
Is that you or is that more Ian?
That's kind of everyone is working on their own SOPs, you know?
Okay.
So like Valora is doing stuff for the kids program.
Guys, SOPs, standard operating procedures. Sorry.
Yeah. We love SOPs. I'm a systems person.
Right,
I like for things to be organized, and I like for things to like.
No surprises. You're like, Simon's going to be like you. He's going to want SOPs. We talked about that.
Yeah. It's, I'm the person that's writing everyone these like really long emails with like exhaustive steps that like, I don't know. Honestly, I need to shorten those up. Mike told me, he's like, people aren't reading your emails, they're too long. So, but that's how I think. I'm like, here,
Right.
I want to give you like a really exhaustive list of the ways to do this thing perfectly.
When you send me, so it's probably not good for the company, but I like it when I ask you something personally. But I don't want to have to Google anymore. Right?
I do that with Brian.
Okay.
Like, yeah, if there's a question that I have about like the back end of our website or like something that's going wrong in MBO, I'll be like, Brian.
Dude, he is the best Googler that I have ever met. Like, and when I say Googler, it's a skill to be able to type the right words into Google immediately to get what you're trying to learn. And I was so awful at this. I used to text him or email him, yo, bro, I'm trying to learn how to do this. What words? How should I search this? He's an amazing Googler.
Yeah, Brian finds all kinds of great stuff. Like he found this like Google Chrome plugin to like convert a spreadsheet into a like Drive document for me recently. I was
Really?
like, yeah, I was asking him to build some code for me to do exactly that. He's like, look, someone already invented it. I was like, oh, cool.
The dashboard. Oh my God, I'm so happy he built that dashboard because he wouldn't do it we couldn't do it at first. Like I've been trying to get that dashboard for years. Like I don't think you probably had to do it for me. Were you the one who had to keep the attendance for Boulder?
No, probably was Mike.
Oh my God, because it sucked. Because this is what led to part of my breakdown. But like I was like trying to get the whole dashboard. I was trying to do all of that manually. It was so fucking hard.
Sounds terrible.
Oh, it was terrible. And like if it didn't make sense, I'd be on the phone with MBO like every week. I'd be like, I'm all there. They're screwing us, man. They're screwing us. Where you find these 5 people? These 5 people dropped off and now they're back on. Like who are they? Where are like? And it wasn't failed all to pay. It wasn't all this stuff. But yeah, Brian, I think somehow figured out how to get into their API, or they gave him the API, and now we have this dashboard. It saves.
It's been a game changer, and that's been a big part of like the transformation of the way that we're running things. Like we started doing the dashboard after we had been doing the like Monday meetings for a while,
right?
And for a long time, it was like you, me, Mike, Amal.
Well, at first it was just me, Amal, and Mike, and that sucked.
We were doing this at like 9 on a Monday morning.
9:30 on Monday morning. And then Valor got added and Ian got added, and that sucked more because we were doing it virtually. And then you got added, and then Mike told me and Amal to get the fuck out.
And now we do these meetings in the afternoon, which is nice.
Why is it nice?
I'm not a morning person.
Okay. Oh, so this is not good for you. This 9 o'clock podcast.
It's okay.
Okay.
I got my coffee.
All right.
But yeah, so like we do it in the afternoon now.
Okay.
It's with all the GMs and like their head admin for all the academies. And we go over the dashboard.
All of the GMs and the DFIs or the AODs or whoever.
Or both.
Or both. Okay.
And we go over like, it's kind of like part of it is just us getting to interact. And I think that's been a big part of what has changed things at Easton the last few years is that we've all we're like working a lot more closely together. We've become better friends, which helps the health of the business a lot, I think. Communication is easier. We're all on the same page. We're talking about the same stuff.
I think this is an important thing because I think it's an important thing for like me and a Mike and a Maul, but sometimes we don't talk, and Ian, you know, like we don't talk as much, and Mike and I have just realized it's like we have to talk way more because obviously I'm not going to be absent, and we can't just talk about problems, right? Like because then we'll get mad at each other.
Yeah, it's about like quality time.
Quality
too.
time, yeah. Like,
that's my love language.
Yeah, me too. I need to spend some fun time with you, and so. Yeah, and so Mike and I have figured that out, and that's really like it's really cool that you guys are doing the same thing, right? Like, actually, Ian figured that out for me and Mike, because like we were like butting heads, and he's like, yeah, because all you guys do is talk about butting heads, right? Like you call each other because something's going wrong, and it's not something, you know, like you're doing nothing that you like to do together. And the way the whole relationship, all of our relationships was built, like as far as me, Mike, Amal, and Ian, things like that, was on the mat, where you'd beat each other up, and then you'd like hang out. You know?
Yeah,
so,
friendship first.
Friendship first. So you guys are doing that in just a different way.
Yeah, I think like staying connected, like talking with each other every week, like it's a good health of the business check-in. You know, we go over our metrics, like how many members do we have this week? Like how are things looking? What was attendance like? But then also we're like talking to each other about like what was hard for you this week. And like it's not, sometimes it's business stuff, a lot of times it is, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know, yeah, I'm struggling with my schedule. Like it's hard to make time for my family or something like that. And I think it humanizes things, you know? It makes us all more empathetic, more connected.
For each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally.
It's and then like, for the customers, the members, you know?
Yeah. It's like if we're talking vulnerably about the things that we're struggling with and helping each other out and like getting through those things together, I think that is what's making us a stronger team.
Yeah, man, it's like together, right? Because I don't believe in the self-made man, right? that concept. Because nobody did anything by themselves. So why are we solving problems by ourselves? Why are we trying to do anything by ourselves? The more people, and you can't have too many, right? There's definitely a limit, which like, you know, like we've all been sitting with 30 people trying to figure out where to go to dinner. And that sucks. Right? Yeah. But so that's an interesting way. How do you guys do that? Because there's a lot of people in the room sometimes. Like how do you go through the 30 different opinions on what we're going to eat?
So Mike is pretty organized in the way that these meetings are run.
Okay.
He's been reading a lot of books about like the best way to go about it, how to run an efficient meeting. And so the structure is always the same. We do some like housekeeping stuff. We talk about like announcements of the, you know, projects that we're all working on together, deadlines, that kind of thing. We go into the numbers, and then we start talking about like, we have this spreadsheet where you can put in like the issues that you're dealing with, and then we'll just go through the spreadsheet and talk about what we put on there.
Gotcha. I don't have that one. I just have the dashboard. So, and then how do you not get 30 different, I mean, so how many people are in the meeting now?
Man, I don't even know. There's
at least 20.
Probably. There are some people who there's not 20 people speaking. Okay, you know, right. This is mostly a time for like the GMs to discuss.
Okay, and everyone else is just there. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like sometimes admin and support team folks will like chime in and stuff, but it's mostly a like boots on the ground.
Got it.
Meeting.
Okay. Yeah. So that limits the speaking.
Yeah, it's not chaotic.
Right. Okay. Got it. So that's, I love it. I love that you guys meet like that. And I love that I just get briefed, right? Like when you say boots on the ground, you know, so that's what it is. And that's again, it's a decentralized command, I believe is the term. Where, yeah, you can't be part of everything and Mike can't be part of everything. And I know on Thursdays, I think every other Thursday in Denver, there's the front desk, the first impressions meeting. I always walk in on it, and because I get done teaching at that time. And yeah, and they have their meeting, and then that person comes back to a bigger meeting, and then it changes up the command.
Yeah.
And now Mike and I and Amal have a meeting here in like 30 minutes, where he's, you know, and we do like a quarterly meeting. For Mike and I do more, but like the three of us do a quarterly because it's too much.
Yeah, it's like I think that's an important part of our growth right now is like, you certainly can't be handling everything. Like if you were working on the newsletter, like if you were...
Well, first of all, you've seen my writing.
I don't think you're a bad writer.
I'm a terrible writer. Anna's handling my email now. And I was like, okay, you do that first one. I was like, but before you send it out, let me see it first. And then she sent it to me first. I was like, oh, goddamn, you don't need to send it to me anymore. Like, just send it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's nice to have that.
Right. So anyway, you were saying I can't handle the newsletter.
Yeah, like if you were trying to do every aspect of the business, which I think is so like in the E-Myth,
right.
you know, like if you're trying to be the person like involved in every single thing and you can't like relinquish control and like give that responsibility to someone else, then like you're going to be overworked and you're not going to have time for, it's like the working in the business versus on the business thing.
Yeah. That book was it's such an amazing book. Like, I think if you're starting a business, that's the first book, in my opinion. And I didn't read it till way later. Amal kept yelling at me. He's like, bro, you haven't read the E-Myth yet? And I'm like, no, man. He's like, read the fucking E-Myth. And I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, that thing, working on the business versus working in the business. And then when he talked about everyone thinks this entrepreneur life is amazing. Well, what you really did was you gave yourself 2 jobs, because in the beginning you do have to work on and in. Mm-hmm. So now you're not only are you a jiu-jitsu teacher or a Muay Thai teacher, but you also now have to do business work. Mm-hmm. So that's a very hard thing. And you want to be, how do you move away from that? And the way that you move away from working in the business is this decentralized command and actually trusting people, hiring well, and really investing in the person. And I think that's what Mike did with you to make you love being here still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. It was the amount of trust that has been placed in me is like, oh, it's like empowering, you know?
Right.
It's like, oh, I feel great.
Sure.
Knowing that I'm so trusted and valued.
And there's room for you to mess up. Mm-hmm. And there's room for you to grow.
I've certainly messed up.
Right. I mean, we all yeah. And hopefully you don't feel in a way like, there are major repercussions. I don't know. You tell me for your messing up.
No, Mike has been very understanding
right.
of the mistakes that I've made. And sometimes, you know, you get that like early morning text, like, what is this? And
right.
I'm like, oh no.
Right.
But yeah, you know, those come more seldom now.
Sure. And we all mess up. Like, and that, again, that's people though. You have to be able to work with that person, mm-hmm. you know? Now, if the person keeps making the same mistake over and over again, we'll have to talk, right? That might be the time to fire fast, right? But obviously, I know we've joked about that a little bit, but it's not. It's very rarely on the table for us, I would say. Mm-hmm. Like, do you have, like, with all this trust and all these, and I think sometimes people get really nervous because they're like, the person's blowing it, so I'm gonna have to get rid of them, and then what's gonna happen? And I don't really ever feel like getting rid of people is on the table too much at Easton. Do you?
There's a high cost for us to do something like that because everything that we do takes a lot of time to get someone trained up and like proficient at their job.
Right.
Like, even our entry level positions, like it's an investment that we can't really afford to just throw out, you know?
Right.
It's
yeah. And they get so in the community. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of emotional repercussions on the firing of, mm-hmm. of someone.
And that's the hard thing, I guess, about like all of us being so close and like so socially connected. You know, I think there's a lot of businesses where it's just like clock in, clock out, like see you later. But we all hang out, you know, we're all like much more intertwined.
And people just hang out in the school. Mm-hmm. And you're not just like hanging out, getting hammered together or drunk or, you know, like partying. No. It's like real hangout. It's like real, like we've all had those friends that are like your go out friends. And then you have like your real friends. And I think what goes on at Easton is more like the real friends thing. It's not like we're more than just coworkers. Mm-hmm. So that's always a nice thing about it.
Yeah, it's so special. It like really is. I've never experienced something like that in a workplace before.
Yeah, me either. It's so hard to explain, right? I don't even know how to say it, you know, because we can fight and we can argue too, but the friendship is never on the table, right? Like, and that's such a interesting dynamic to have, because a lot of times when people get mad at each other, like everything's on the table, right? But it's never on the table for us, where we know it will work through, like we'll work out this business thing, or the professional side of it.
I think that might be like a martial arts thing too, It's like you've decided that jiu-jitsu is your thing,
Right.
Like most of these people aren't like, I'm going to just quit this and like go see how I do it something else.
Yeah, it's very rare. People quit in the beginning, right? Like between that, I think we all know, between that 1 and 6 month mark.
Yeah,
right?
That's the danger zone.
That's the danger zone, yeah. We have a danger zone story. I have a danger zone story. I'll tell you afterwards. So, so that's the danger zone. But once you get through that, and you like drank the whole cup of Kool-Aid, not just like a sip of it. Oh God, it's like a breakup if you quit. For you, not like you feel awful.
Yeah, it's like you've become so embedded that you've lost more than just your hobby.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to foster now in the danger zone, right? Is like helping people to find their community faster, to become a part of it and feel like they belong, because that's what keeps you.
Right.
Like that's what makes it worth staying.
I think that's even what made it worth staying for me. I was going through a tough time in my life when it was one of my second battles with anxiety started, and I found jiu-jitsu. And so, I think that's kind of what it was. Let's talk about, so you brought it up about fostering this beginning part, the enrichment program.
Yeah.
Which I think, Ian gives a lot of credit to you for really seeing.
No, Ian and Chris have orchestrated that.
Yeah, but he gives a lot of credit for you for like sparking a light, so explain the enrichment program.
So the enrichment program is this new thing that we're doing. We had the first round beta testing in Denver recently, where we invite white belts, like 1 to 4 stripe white belts, to hop in on this, basically like a group private. And so they meet once a week with their small enrichment group, and there's several groups going on at once. And they're all just having some extra time to get to know some people on the mat and to sharpen their skills some more at a time when you're at a high risk of losing interest, or like, that's about when it starts to get hard.
Like an outcast, all those things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you need the support you need somebody to be like, oh yeah, are you going to be in class tonight? And I think
another student, you're saying? Another
student or your instructor.
Teacher, right.
Yeah, you need to have like some kind of relationship where someone knows who you are and they're like invested in your progression.
And this is easy in the beginning of small schools because, the instructor only has a couple students.
Mm-hmm. You know everybody really well. But as you grow, I think that if you're not careful, it can be easy to like lose people in the shuffle. And then you see like a high rate of churn, which is not what you want.
No. For sure. And that's what we're trying. Are we doing it at all the schools now? Or is it
Not
still
yet.
just Denver?
Arvada is starting and Denver's doing it.
Okay.
And so far it's just jiu-jitsu, but we're going to expand it into the Muay Thai program.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we pay the instructor, right? The student doesn't pay the instructor. Yeah. So we eat that cost.
Yeah. And I think it's totally worth the investment. It's like not a whole lot more in payroll for us, but
if two students stay.
Yeah, if we can continue to change those people's lives because they got over that like difficult hump, then absolutely worth it.
I think sometimes for the business owner though, they go, God, I got to eat that cost on the instructor end, right? So that can be a hard thing to do, as from my point of view, right? Like, take away the people side of it for a second, just the money side of it, right? I'm like, man, okay, so I got 4 instructors that I got to pay $100 more a week to. 400, like in the beginning, you're like, God damn, that sucks. So $400 a month. If two students stay for 2 more months, you're good. You're in the black.
I think if we wanted to talk just about the money side of it, like, it's like you're making this investment, but it's way less expensive to keep people than it is to get new ones.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's like, you know, we talk a lot about like marketing dollars, and to a lot of people that means like advertising, like how much am I going to put into my Facebook ads? Like how much am I going to spend on this booth? But I learned this from Seth Godin. I'm a Seth Godin fan.
Me too. You and Mike turned me on to him.
He's great.
You and Mike both sent me the podcast fellowship, which I didn't really like that much, but
I took his like marketing seminar earlier this year, and he talks a lot about like everything you do is marketing, everything that is like client facing, where you're having an impact on the experience of the people who are like keeping your business alive. That's marketing.
Right.
So the enrichment program is marketing. Like our front desk chatting with people, like having nice conversations, that's marketing.
Yeah, it's a good point. And you've done a great job with that. So, you know, and really getting us into that. I mean, Ian says you've been amazing for that. So
thanks, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Anything else you'd like to add before we jump out?
Man, I'm excited to be in this company right now and to like have seen where it's come from and where we're going. It's like, it's a really cool time. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. It's one of those things, some things that are super important to me, because we were talking about it with my parents a little bit, like why sometimes I don't like certain things, or people that like ideologically say that they think one way and then they go wholeheartedly in their actions against that, right? Like, because I have kids and I know what that looks like. I know what it looks like to tell the kids to do one thing, and then you're not doing that, and then watching your kids act like you, and then you get mad at them. Right? So I feel a certain way. I feel like we have to have a very inclusive community, right? I believe that women and minorities and all that should be brought up in a workplace. You know, like it should be a big demographic of people. And we were very male dominated, and we're, you know, and I know some people sometimes go, yeah, well, what if they're the best? Fuck off. Right? Like, sure, if the cream rises to the top, then that's cool too. But sometimes the opportunity wasn't equal for the cream to rise to the top. So I think that's a very important thing. I don't believe in equality of outcomes. I believe in equality of opportunity. And you are showing the equality of opportunity, right? Of when someone who had nothing to do with martial arts whatsoever and nothing to do with Easton at all came in, right? And now look at all this opportunity that you've had and that you've created for all these other people. So I can say nothing but thank you. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have all of you working for us and doing it together. So thanks, Sach.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being it.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's another episode of Easton.Online. I hope everyone enjoyed. We are Jamie Liss, but hi, Jamie.
We miss you, Jordan.
We miss you. All right. That's it.